I started watching the X-Files recently because I'd never seen it. And it's like, it's a good show, but like the effects from back then are just so terrible. You know, and it's hard to like, because we're spoiled now. Because we have everything we want. But then we go back then and just every effect that you watch, well, cutting edge for its time, is just like awful looking now.
Is it distracting? Does it like really take you out of the engagement with the story?
I think what actually takes me out more of the story is that it's like the bones of good sci-fi are there, but like it's kind of like the bones of that sci-fi have been used by other sci-fi shows since then.
Right, I'm watching Fringe right now, which I think has a lot of X-Files in its DNA, with maybe a more interesting, coherent, overarching story.
Yeah, the overarching story of X-Files is kind of neat. I think their Monster of the Week stuff, though, kind of when they do that, that's actually more interesting for me. But
I mean, that's like the core conceit of the show, really.
Well, there's also this big like conspiracy that takes up several episodes every season that they're slowly unraveling. It feels like I'm only in season 1, so I really can't like.
Right. From what I've heard, the potential of that is the most enticing part. Like it feels like they're building to something really cool, and all the like teasing is fun. But once they like start really digging into it in later seasons, it's like, oh, this actually sucks.
Oh, it does.
I think. I've never seen it, but I know too much about TV I haven't seen because I'm a nerd.
I mean, at some point, right, like, Scully has to stop being such a skeptic? Maybe? No?
In the first season, she's, like, questioning everything. Even when it's, like, obviously aliens. It's like, look, you saw the same shit. And she's like, it could be experimental craft. And it's like, what leap does your brain take?
It was swamp gas.
It was swamp gas.
Listen, just because she destroys Mulder with logic doesn't mean you have to get on her back. Just because she is an independent thinker.
Just because I had a baby doesn't mean that it was necessarily an alien.
You know where Scully comes from? Skull and Bones. She's part of it, dude.
Oh man, is Scully the one-armed man?
Scully's the fuck. Let's start the episode. Fuck.
We've already littered two spoilers. We're gonna litter a third one.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe a fourth one throughout the rest of the episode.
You're spoiling them for me because I have said I've not seen
the first season.
Oh, I've just like heard so much about X-Files through like osmosis that like I know pretty much everything about it.
I actually go out of my way to ruin everything.
You had some reforms you wanted to make to the dice rolling process.
What?
Do you want to highlight what those were?
Oh. Rah, 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 rah.
Was my reform that Walter's not in sole control of the dice rolling process? Was that my reform?
We can all roll the dice. I don't care. I've just been doing it the last few times. I did want to bring it up because otherwise, how do we know that this show's a parliamentary democracy or not?
Okay.
Does anybody?
Well, this was a mistake because I didn't have a dice roll already. So you just do it.
I motion that Walt roll the die.
It's a 2, which is Dan.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Fine. Cool.
I'll just put this deck of cards back.
All right. Lay on me.
4 suits. All right.
Oh, which we have not established prior to the drawing of the card.
Right, I was going to draw it first and then be like, who's the most spade-like?
Hit me up with your best non-automobile-related prompt words.
Garlic.
Baby.
Garlic. TV.
Baby.
Did you say TV?
Baby.
You're cutting in and out.
It happens sometimes. Like, it doesn't pick up that you're talking until you start talking, so it'll truncate the first.
Baby.
Yeah.
Nice. And Chessman.
Well, not platypus. I can't do that.
Why?
It's too obvious. No, we're not doing it. Okay. It's house.
Okay.
Garlic baby house. Wow. That's Jesus fucking Christ, guys.
I think that these
platypus had been better.
I think we would do house now.
You guys
we can't do platypus, evidently.
This is already a children's
change
show.
the word. V8 steering wheel and gasoline. That would be really appreciated, actually.
Wait, so it's Boss Baby, but with a vampire?
I know what the title of this episode is: Garlic Baby House.
Garlic Baby House. Well, what immediately jumps to mind is the Cabbage Patch Kids. We, of course, cannot use that because we will be put to death by the executives of the Cabbage Patch Kids company. That's a real problem.
I don't want to see these babies. I mean, these babies could be garlic beings, but I don't want them to be garlic.
Is it a
people.
baby or multiple babies? Because Garlic Baby, that's got some Momotaro vibes, yo.
Oh, that's true.
A child is delivered to the world from a bulb of garlic.
The garlic prince.
Maybe he's a giant baby. It's from a giant bulb of garlic. I don't really understand how house works into this equation.
I just heard garlic and baby, and I was like, you could kind of roll with that.
Well, house could be a literal house, right? Like a thing. It could be like a house as in like a clan, right? Like house Garlic Baby.
Like a frat.
Maybe in this setting, children gestate within large bulbs of garlic, and they're only grown at this one specific house.
Okay.
And it's like the plantation. No, that's not that.
The garden. Garden.
The garden. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Not a garden patch, but a garden. Just a garden.
if there is a gentle garlic prince that comes to this world as a baby, maybe he's looking for a home.
Like the Little Prince?
Yes, but more like Momotaro, Japanese folklore
Yeah.
prince boy of Peaches.
Fucking teams up with monkeys that talk to him and fights
Okay,
goblins.
you're gonna have to explain Momotaro because that was off.
There's a Peach Boy,
camera,
the Japanese Peach Boy legend who arrived in the Peach in a river and saved
Okay.
Japan many times.
Because all of you listeners are Japanese, you are very familiar with the legend of Momotaro.
Yeah.
Right. As an English podcast, we have exclusively Japanese listeners.
I'm actually full Japanese. I'm the only Japanese person on the podcast, and I received a doctorate in being Japanese from Stanford University.
Really
So I think I
hitting it.
know. I think I know my own heritage.
So there's garlic babies that are gestating in the garden of this house.
And these babies are actually, all right, it's not the Momotaro. It is the Momotaros. They are the heroes of mankind, and they are brought up to protect us as like sort of maybe guardian spirits that are grown from the earth.
Yeah, what if they're like this society's cast of soldiers, these heroes?
Or something a little more magical than soldiers, but maybe they like kind of stay babies.
Knights?
But
Garlic knights?
So garlic has antifungal,
Medicinal properties.
restorative medicinal properties. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
So what if they're like traveling healers? Like they're sort of like nature spirits, but they are humans. They've been brought forth from the earth by whatever the nature deity of this setting is, and they have restorative powers. So they travel the lands treating disease and curing people and healing wounds and
I
such.
like that. And also, so house or home can figure in that in folklore, spirits sometimes have rules around houses, right? Like how you can enter, invitations, hospitality.
So maybe the idea of the home holds it's not the place where they came from, but it could be the place where they settle, even if it's just temporarily on a journey. So like a home could be like a village that a garlic spirit or a garlic healer settles in for a time and becomes kind of like their medicine person.
Yeah, like it's kind of a special
Or-
thing when
okay.
you get a garlic boy to stay at your house. I like that.
So about this place where they're grown, it's a singular place. There'd be a lot of politics surrounding that, right?
I would assume so, because I mean, if
People trying to smuggle sprigs of garlic out to grow their own, perhaps.
Well, and if there is a power structure that controls it, then they're going to want to use these beings for basically their own gain, like by using them as like medics on the battlefield or like personal healers for like the noble families of this
I want
society.
to be more whimsical than that. I want them to Just be like
Yeah.
wandering little sprites more so than.
Yeah, Lore Lad, what do they do?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say the house it is under the protection of it's under the protection of the sacred nature deity of this world, and outsiders can't find it unless they're like
Yeah,
the
okay.
chosen by that
That makes
deity.
sense. It's like a fairy house. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they have to go up into it's like in the woods, not in the like a mountain forest, let's say. Just
Well,
to
it's
pick
in a
a
realm
location at
that
random.
humans normally it's clouded from us.
Mhm.
Ooh, what if it's like a thing in this world that if you have a sick family member or something, like it almost it's like in an interstice. It's not in a forest, it's in the forest. It's like you take your sick family member out into the woods and you hope that maybe you stumble into, if you're judged worthy, this interstitial space where they can
I
be
like
healed.
that.
Sure.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you take them, and most of the time you take people to this place, or you go yourself to be healed, and then you come home, and you're better. But then a lot of times they can't heal you right then, so they send back with you one of these a head of garlic to like plant. And then that garlic grows into a
and
caretaker.
Get your own garlic child
Yeah.
from the forest house.
Yeah, so if your village, like, or just your family even, lives in harmony with the land and doesn't exploit it, and, like, when they chop down trees, you put them back to grow them again, then maybe you'll be blessed by this deity with, like, a healer for your village, like a guardian being.
But what if you need care now? What if you don't have time for a sprig of garlic to grow?
You have to pay somehow.
Mm.
And then also, what if you can't find this place?
Well,
There's-
if you can't find it, it's because you deserve to die in this setting. You
Right.
know, the gods of this is actually
Well, there
grim.
can be some folk healing
Yeah.
and stuff, but no magical healing without the garlic baby.
And there's still
Yeah.
like maybe it's possible to learn how to like ape it a little bit, you know? Like a weaker version of that healing. Or they have herbal knowledge that they can teach you.
So what happens to the garlic babies after they've healed the people, their charges that are supposed to heal? Do they live long lives, or do they kind of go back into the forest or turn into nature themselves?
I like to think they just wander the lands.
I like to think they're not permanent, because the blessing bestowed by nature is one that would have to be continually renewed,
Yeah, at a
right?
certain point they just dig into the ground, have a long sleep.
Well, I had this idea that I think it makes sense that they don't live like very long lives because they're little onion family creatures. But like if there are these
Garlic sprites,
creatures,
yeah.
these garlic sprites that like they don't necessarily go back to the forest because like they could go back to the forest and wander, but like maybe there's this witch lady or like there's these people that like invite them into their homes to like learn from them. And so like you have this witch that's like surrounded by garlic sprites,
Yes.
sort of like as a halfway house to like, or like or like a retirement home
Well,
Hospice.
for
so if we
garlic
want to
sprites.
open this setting up, having other magical, either fungal or vegetable people could fit in. Like the garlic babies could be just one facet.
You think
Well,
so?
Potentially.
No, I think I can see where you're going. I mean, it could just be, honestly, that whatever the deity of nature is in this setting is just very strong. And so there are mushroom people. Like, people, nature, fauna has given more life than in our
People
world.
of the field. And you mean flora.
Yeah, I did this last time, too.
Yeah, we did. We
I am
went
not
through
a
this.
biologist, I promise you, good listeners.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like saying fauna more than flora, but yes, flora.
Yes.
You just remember you say like floor, like a little deer is close to the floor, and then it's easy to remember the difference.
Tuber people could be little nuisances.
Like little pepper people who get in your pants and make you itch and shit. Like little asshole hot pepper people.
I don't
You know,
know
those pepper
where
people
that-
are not people pleasers.
What about like there are like little like weed like sprites and they steal shiny shit from people's houses to impress flowers.
Oh,
I kind of like that.
cute little dandelions walking around, just like puffing their little like white stuff.
I like it too if we limit it to smaller plants and we don't just have like tree people, because those would come to be like iconic of the setting, I think. But having small plants is actually really like kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, in this world, you're often underfoot. Will
What if there are no trees? What if the only vegetation is like little scrubs and tiny plants?
So that's kind of hard because there's so much, like, part of the life cycle of a like garlic, for instance, being able to survive in the forest is that it has canopy cover. Like it's protected from the imagining like plant life without trees, everything would be really hardier.
You're probably right.
As Lorelad, I am pro tree or pro forest, I think.
Yeah, the forest was a part too that we had kind of decided on, actually.
what could be interesting?
And it would be kind of weird to like how would you know you're wandering in the forest if there aren't any trees? It's just like a bunch of bushes, I guess.
State of mind. What could be interesting is if herbalists in these settings can make really potent stuff, but you can't make the stuff without either, I guess, like taking these little living creatures by force and killing them, like being really dark, or by having such trust and friendliness with these creatures that when they're at the end of their life cycle, they come to you, and the herbalists can then make great potions with their little bodies.
Oh yeah, I like that. They turn over themselves.
What, the garlic people boil themselves in the pot?
Goodbye!
Like they just climb into the pot like, goodbye, forever.
It's picturing something a little more solemn than that.
I like the garlic people. I like the weeds. I like the pepper people. What other types of little people would there be?
I like cranky little tubers, little root boys.
Oh, like little old ass ginger people.
Just the most crotchety potatoes. Just they're all real old souls.
So do people in this setting eat
That's what I was just wondering.
crops?
Oh god, yeah,
I think they would eat. Yeah, but not all plants are sentient.
Yeah, okay, so maybe potatoes aren't. Right.
Yeah, like rice is almost too small to be like a thing. I think you kind of have to either limit it to one thing or a few things that are sentient. And
boy, do I not want to imagine what would happen if rice was alive.
Oh god.
Just a million tiny screaming mouths when you eat a bowl of rice.
Well, they could. Vegetables could exist like normal, and they're vegetable people. Potentially. Like you can be a potato farmer, be growing potatoes, and a potato.
And they're also the potato sprites, yeah, is what you're saying.
And even like.
Right, that's why you have to get this garlic from the house in the forest.
But why is the garlic special among the people?
Because they heal.
You're the one that picked garlic, but yeah, the medicinal properties.
Special healers. Right. One idea that just came to me is, what if there are lots of vegetable farmers in the land, but say you're a potato farmer and maybe randomly one of your potato plants grows and a potato sprite comes out, a cranky little potato sprite. And there's some sort of quest that comes out of that.
I kind of like that. Yeah, so not all of them come from the house or the woods.
No, I think that in particular is just a very like sacred space that's like very in tune with the natural energy of the world.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some sort of like fae that like runs it like a house mother or something to that effect.
Yeah, and so the world could be very bountiful. Like lots of great vegetables and orchards, and like people really don't have to want for food. But in return for this semi-arrangement with the nature spirit,
we kill one child a year.
I was more thinking when a spirit grows out of your garden, you really have to play ball with it. And that's what I'm trying to think through is what the quest would be, what the ask would be of these these spirits a girl.
You mean like teach it how to play catch?
You have to raise it as a child.
Yeah, 'cause it's tricky, right? Because we've created a setting here where the quest you would be given, you would think would involve in some way restoring balance to nature, but we've also created a setting where there's not really a need to take advantage of nature
Right,
to
because
create that
nature's
lack.
such a
I
bro.
kind of like that though.
Yeah,
Like
just
we
we already
gives
had
us
our
all that.
eco hell episode.
Yeah.
We already talked about like
Yeah, we already talked about
Yeah.
horrific nature being used
No,
to hurt
I don't
people.
not
this
like
is just
it.
like a really nice agrarian setting. It's fun.
Yeah, I like it. I just again don't know what that would look like. You know, maybe it is literally that. Maybe you have to entertain the potato spirit, like
I
he's a
kinda
guest
you're
in your
treated
home.
as a guest in your house. Yeah, and you have a little door built into your house where the spirits can walk
You
in.
have to like make him little furniture.
Well, no, if they arrive at your house at mealtime in like a little procession of pepper people, you have to host them. Yeah, and then they were gonna like rub themselves on your skin and make you fucking. The peppers are the worst.
He likes the little asshole pepper people.
I was cutting habaneros recently, and
Oh, it's the worst.
the juice got on my hands, and it made my whole like because I was like touching my face like an idiot, and it made my eyes like burn and shit. But I just thought, I was like,
I'm
what if
just
that
picturing,
habanero was a person? There was a little
some-
guy.
bumbling yokel farmer like is visited by a spirit and he has no idea what to do, and so he carves a little house out of a pumpkin. It's like, that's very morbid. I don't want to live inside a flesh house. What are you doing?
Yeah, hold on. Like, okay, potato farmer has a potato spirit come out of his farm. What? He's a potato farmer, right? The hell does he serve this potato? Does he serve it potatoes?
No, he can't.
No, they only eat meat.
Carnivore.
Oh, no.
I mean, yeah, you probably have to do lots of trades with people, or like take them to the village.
Well, that makes sense in this setting,
Yeah.
though, right? Like, because maybe in your village, you're the potato farmer, and your neighbor is the yam farmer, and your other neighbor is the apple farmer. Like, it's bountiful enough that not everybody has to grow the same crop on their own farm.
Okay.
There's a complicated economy of
economy of
vegetable-based trade.
Yeah, bullshit to keep the vegetable spirits happy because they like other spirits of their same type. And if they had it their way, like if the potatoes had it their way, there would only be potato spirits.
Do not segue this into a vegetable race war, please.
I didn't even look. You put that there. I thought it was more like a cute conflict, but okay, yeah, we'll pump the brake on that.
Oh, it's cute racism. Oh, let's pinch their little cheeks. Oh, what does he get? Little spears and pitchforks. Oh.
So the setting must remain whimsical at all costs.
This is the most comfy setting I think we've ever designed.
Yes. Maybe another quest for the spirits. I could see a spirit like wanting to see something, like want to go somewhere.
Oh, like you have to go on a
Yeah.
journey, like
yeah.
with the spirit, like
A
an odyssey.
potato in your bag
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like maybe you have like.
because he wants to see Mount Rushmore or whatever the hell.
Could it be like maybe there are humans that the spirits are attracted to, and so they just sort of travel from place to place, seeing the world?
Yeah. I want there to be wandering spirits.
Yeah.
What's so like? You get like a carrot spirit that comes in your house, and you don't know what to do because he's not asking you to do anything yet, and he flips through your newspaper and sees a picture of like Lindbergh, and he points at it. He's like, I want to go see the guy who flies this crazy machine. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking
fascist
about?
carrot spirit that loves Charles Lindbergh?
Yes, exactly. Fascist?
Why are you describing
Lindbergh
Charles Lindbergh in the setting?
He is kind of a
you
fascist,
pick,
but
you
that's
pick one historical figure who's you're like, oh yeah, non-controversial historical figure Charles Lindbergh.
The general idea.
really your fault for not picking Amelia Earhart.
The idea of these spirits having little like fights of fancy.
Amelia
like,
Earhart. Yeah.
Like,
What's the conflict in this setting?
shut up.
Like, because we've described a setting where everything's kind of like cute and whimsical. We don't have to take it to like a wartime conflict, but there should be some tension or like means for story to happen.
Well, there are things to do. These little quests, but it's more
Yeah.
it's like the Pokemon Snap compared to
It's
a
like
Pokemon
Animal
Black
Crossing.
and White, right?
Mm.
I'm struggling with the idea of implementing conflict that isn't rooted in humans doing bad things to each other to like
Or
control
humans
resources, which doesn't really vibe
trying
with
to exploit the spirits.
I mean, the spirits can be more mischievous. Like you already described the annoying little pepper shits.
God bless him. The best characters in this setting.
Yeah, like I don't really want to introduce like an industrializing faction. Like I kind of like this without that. I mean, we could do that, but
No, I think it's more unique if it doesn't have it.
yeah.
One wrinkle. This whole setting could just exist, right? And it can be self-contained if we want. But there can also be...
we don't have to fuck with it.
There could also be seafaring pirates who bring evil fruit spirits from another land.
Uh-oh.
No,
the
hold on.
sea people.
Now hold on just a second. Pirates? Magical fruit? I'm not sure about this.
This would be different.
Gonna have to...
This sounds
Because,
far-fetched.
the fruits
It won't
would
be
just-
different. It will not be different.
It'll have to be pirates. But and this world we described, there aren't any fruits. It's like all vegetables and greens and stuff. But there could be like really dangerous fruit spirits. If we want to have
I'm down with that, actually. Like, maybe you do wander too deep into the woods and you fall under, like, the enchantment of a nature spirit or, like, a sunflower spirit that you just decide to sit down and stare at for the rest of your
Well, this
life.
could be an island. And other islands could have different kinds of spirits. So this island is all vegetable spirits, not like strong conflict. But the island next door has, like, carnivorous bananas or something.
So there are fruit spirits too, we've
Right, but
decided.
not on this island.
bountiful-
Like kind of interlopers that you'd have to like either seek out or be brought there.
Yeah.
And I like that because I'm thinking that maybe because this original like place that we were talking about is entirely vegetable spirits, they would think that fruit spirits are like evil or dangerous, but the truth is they're just foreigners,
Oh yes, a lesson.
right? They
A lesson against fruit.
yeah, they just don't know. They've never seen them. Yeah, the apple man. He's good. He's a good guy. He's got lots of fiber, good sugar, which that exists, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we need
sure.
sugar to live.
Okay, look at the vegan over here.
If we did want to, I mean, we could make the animal life in this setting have also been empowered, maybe, by
yeah,
the existence of like this powerful nature deity or whatever. So maybe they're more not bestial, but just bigger and stronger and more kind of dangerous.
Okay.
So
okay.
you wouldn't want to go, fuck with like maybe a squirrel is like the size of a dog in this setting, and
Oh, geez.
Well,
they'll
what
eat
if
your
there's
shit, bro?
what if there's two gods of nature? One for Flora, who's relatively benevolent and kind to humanity, and one for Fauna, who doesn't give a shit about humanity, and they're more ambivalent and nasty.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
Because for Flora, they thrive with humanity to cultivate
Right.
them. But the animals live in direct competition with humanity for grazing space, for all sorts of things.
Yeah, and I like
for
how you
food.
said like just kind of don't give a shit about humanity more so than actively dislikes. The
Right.
society we've set up isn't really going to be like sending tons of bison off a cliff primarily.
No, I don't think they would either, especially because we've established that nature's pretty dangerous, actually. And to go out in it would be, I don't know, do we want to say tantamount to suicide if you're going by
Not
yourself?
necessarily,
No.
but just like dangerous. You have to be really scrappy.
Yeah, like
You'd have to be really adventurous and like striking off alone, like Charles Lindbergh.
That's why these quests are dangerous, that the veg spirits can send people on.
Yeah, that's a nice contrast. You go wandering off with your little turnip guy who wants to see the ocean, and you have to like run past giant squirrel beasts or something. I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And like humanity didn't really like maybe develop necessarily a martial response to this. Like instead of like you said, running bison off cliffs and such, like maybe it is more about just evading them or luring them away or
Right, maybe
appeasing
the
them.
spreads can be helpful with that. Like sprite, if you have like some friendly sprite traveling with you, the sprite can like distract him, send off some spores, maybe depending on if it's like a little mushroom guy or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You have like a little lavender sprite that just like gently eases the gigantic stag that's following you to sleep.
Yeah, if your little sprite smells good enough, you can get past the beast.
Your lavender sprite enrolls the wolf in a multi-level marketing company.
What is it with you and MLM companies?
Because we should all go to the New England and start a lavender farm.
You have to be careful. You do have to be careful. Those lavender sprites, well, it's the knives really. That's what they're selling you. And you're like, they're good knives, but like, do you need them? I don't think so.
Oh man. No, I do like this world where like the only conflict actually comes from things we can't control, really.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like the fauna god
There we
isn't
go.
evil. He's
Nailed
just
it.
callous. He just doesn't really like. It's the natural world. If humanity makes it, they make it.
Yeah,
if they
because
don't,
we're
they
only
don't.
one of his 10 million children. He doesn't care what happens to us, you know. But the vegetables need us to survive, or at least to propagate,
Right.
because we help them.
These gods should be siblings.
They should be. Yeah, yeah. An
I like
older
that.
sibling and a chiller younger sibling.
And the fauna god's a woman, the flora god's a man.
Flora god's a man,
Okay.
you think?
Yeah, gender bended.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
A big garlic guy.
Sure.
well, if the garlic
The garlic babies are like
if
maybe
the garlic spirits are the
holiest little
most
spirits,
powerful,
yeah.
yeah, it would make sense that he kind of would resemble
Big
them.
fat garlic man. I like that.
A big fat garlic man.
I was kind of imagining like a monk, like not a fat monk, but like just a monk that just has a head of garlic
That's abstract.
as his head.
I'm imagining like fat garlic Buddha and enjoying.
Exactly,
Okay,
that's
that's
what
good.
I was thinking of.
No, I'm
Okay.
into that.
Yeah.
And he's got little garlic flowers, like his hair is just garlic flowers.
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, look, his head's a bulb of garlic. I don't know why we're getting more specific than that.
I want the pun. I just want it.
What
Give me
pun?
the pun.
Hold up. What pun?
Hey.
I don't know. Like
Chessman,
Walter, you gave garlic as the prompt word, and now we've circled back to garlic. So really, this is kind of all your fault if you think about it.
No, I
There's
just
one
was
thing to close
confused
it
because
out.
he was like, I want the pun, and there was
Yeah,
no
I-
pun that came with
I
that.
don't know what that's
He said
about.
stuff.
And he
Wait,
does
one
it
thing
so
to close
often,
it
and
out.
we never call him on it. We never
one-
call him.
He can't keep getting away
All
with
of this
it.
is fine.
He can't keep getting
this is
away
fine.
with it.
All this is fine. We have one thing to close it out. Who are their who's their progenitor? Like the god, the siblings. Who's before them?
Well, Gaia, the life spark or
They
whatever.
arrived
yeah,
from
they-
space.
They arrive from
Uh,
space. Okay.
I don't know. I never find the answers to these questions very satisfying. It's like, well, who came before that?
Yeah, I
spark
think
of
we
life?
should. I think we
Well,
should
I mean,
focus
she said they were
on,
siblings.
Yeah, but like,
All right, that's
there's
fair.
a lot of gods who are siblings that
Some
are kind
Titan
of just
type
like they've
god,
always
who
been
cares?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Some fucking Titan shit happens.
Because isn't in Greek mythology
A
like
rock opened up.
well, isn't Greek mythology like chaos and like Gaia are the oldest things basically that
Yeah, in
exist?
I thought it
Greek
was like the
mythology,
ye-
the
yeah.
primordial, most ancient beings that are the progenitors of all the gods are like, kind of like core stuff like Gaia, Kronos. But there's also the root of
Nice.
just having these deities come out of, like, just naturally come out of like what exists and belief. I don't know. Not important.
I just want to know about their family life. I want to know about their house. That's
We
what
have
I was
to
going
go back to
into.
house, huh? It's what the setting
I
is
think we
lacking.
didn't touch on the house at all. Yeah, I think we should talk about where the house is interstitially in this magic forest and what happens when you get there.
I had envisioned something like a witch's hut, like in a grove of light, that you like stumble into, and it's just idyllic and very peaceful. But that was specifically for the Garlic House, right, where they come from. That it's like a place free of discord and very calming.
Well, could this be Garlic Buddha's house?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I actually like that. They're like, they're like representatives.
You get to
they're like
visit
heralds
God,
of him.
His little babies.
Huh.
And because that explains their magic power anyway.
Plant gods in his house, all's right with the world.
Oh, and maybe part of the reason why there's such a chumminess between the vegetable spirits and humanity is because Garlic God wanted a house, and humans built him a house.
Oh yeah, the first humans.
First little quest, the first little favor.
We taught the spirits how to build like little houses and shit, and built little shrines to honor them, and that cemented the relationship. And then they gave us agriculture.
Yeah.
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 That would explain why this one likes us and our animal god doesn't really care, because we're the only animal that can do agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not the only animal that can kill other animals.
That would mean that the vegetable spirits actually make us who we are as a species, and they make us whole. And they differentiate us from animals. By our association with them, they elevate us to humanity.
Yeah.
Maybe the real treasure was the friends we grew along the way.
Yeah.
Aw. I like this one a lot. It's a good
It's
setting.
definitely the most wholesome setting that we've done so far.
We didn't even Studio Ghibli it and introduce like a megamaniacal corporation, you know?
We didn't even get to the precipice of introducing mechs to fight off some sort of world-ending catastrophe.
Yeah, where's the hair?
I came out to have a good time and build worlds, and I'm feeling very attacked right now.
This is cute. I liked this one a lot. Any closing thoughts, parting thoughts on Garlic World?
Garlic Baby World. No, I think
Garlic
we made
Baby
something
House.
nice and fully formed. And I'm also, just for context, when I see this in my mind, I'm seeing it's sort of like a feudal Japan kind of thing. Just because.
It's been inescapable for me, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's like that.
It's scored with shakuhachi. That's all I'm hearing. I'm just hearing the shakuhachi all over the place.
What's shakuhachi?
It's a
And that's it,
sort of
folks. That's our show. If you like this episode, subscribe to
Enjoy
us on your
Chessman's,
podcasting service of
flute solo.
choice to get new episodes every Saturday. Feeling saucy, go ahead and write us a 5-star review. That's right. Lie about how good we are. Share us with all your world-building friends. It really helps us out. Our art is courtesy of the talented and wonderful Shell Tor at Jovial Paradox on Twitter. And you can tweet at us too at LoreLads or send us spirited hate mail at 30minuteworlds at gmail.com. Thanks for listening and happy world building.